It's me. Oh, wait. It's me. Welcome to the Dokusou Cast, a unique Nintendo podcast. I am Greg, and I'm joined by my wonderful host,
Rick.
In the house.
I raised my hands up like I was going to be so hyped.
Yeah. Well, welcome to episode 3 of the Dokusou Cast, everybody. How are we feeling tonight?
Feeling great, man.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
We got a different arrangement tonight. We're kind of feeling a little bit more ergonomic and feeling kind of going with the flow of our bodies. We're standing up tonight recording. We got a little cool standing desk in my awesome space here. So it's a little bit of a change up, but I'm feeling kind of a little bit more energetic, exercise kind of rhythm going on here. So, but yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, just another episode of the Dokusou Cast.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty pumped. Took a second to get adjusted to the hour change.
Yeah.
I don't like daylight savings when the hour goes back. When it goes forward or when it, we get the extra hour in the day, great. When it's the other way around, I don't like it.
I envy Arizona and Hawaii right now because I need my hour of sleep back, I swear. I mean, like you say, it just takes some getting adjusting to, but like, why should we in the first place, right?
Well, I know, man.
Did you happen to see this YouTube comment that we got on one of our episodes? Which, by the way, if you guys aren't aware, we have also launched video versions of the podcast that you can now watch on our YouTube channel, the Dokusou Cast. So if you haven't yet, be sure to give us a follow and subscribe on YouTube as well. But yeah, did you happen to see the comment that we have?
I did, man. Pretty exciting. I love the engagement. Please continue to provide that.
Yeah. It's nice to have you guys kind of give your thoughts, and we want you guys to, of course, be involved and kind of give us, your, take on Nintendo because, here at the Dokusou Cast, everything is super unique, and we're trying to give, you guys the option and the ability to, give us your insight, and we can kind of speak up on it and keep the discussion going as each episode goes on. So, yeah, I just kind of want to read off a comment here that we've got just to quickly address before we get into the main bulk of our episode today. But I got a comment from the user, and I apologize if I butcher your name because I'm bad at pronouncing aliases, but JoeBen1597 on our first episode, the Pilot Wings episode, we've got a comment that says, here's an interesting thought for next gen. Do you think Nintendo will dabble around with VR or maybe some other kind of VR/interactive gaming? And
I don't think they will. I know they kind of tested out with the Nintendo Labo where you put like the Switch screen in an actual like little cardboard VR headset, and it worked all right. But I think at this point Nintendo, going back to what our show is, it's unique. I think VR is starting to become like a norm, and to be quite honestly, I feel that Oculus has a really good grasp on it, and even PlayStation's kind of making a pretty good jump, although it's extremely pricey. And I think because of that, the price point, I don't think Nintendo will invest in anything like that. They'll just try to find a way where it can be more of an accessory than a primary standalone thing. But
I mean, when you've got the PlayStation VR 2 literally costing more than the console itself, I mean, it's kind of laughable in my opinion. But at the same time, though, when you actually look at the hardware itself, it's impressive. But let me just remind everybody here that's listening, we are a Nintendo podcast. We are Nintendo gamers. Nintendo, if you know anything about Nintendo, they are the king of garbage components for their hardware. And I'm just putting that bluntly out there. But no. But like, hear me out there for a second. Because like, I'm not taking a jab at that. I'm not being like rude about it when I say that. I mean, when I say they're the king of it, it's because they know very damn well what they can get away with at such a good price point that makes it affordable for like families and for children, and what's in some cases even like child proof for like damages and stuff too. So like taking components that work to fill the needs of their unique gameplay experiences, they do that with cheap hardware. And I think to achieve what kind of people want out of a VR experience is that you kind of need some high-end hardware to do that. So I don't know. I don't think so. I think Labo was kind of their one attempt at that. Yeah.
And I think it was just more of demonstrating the uniqueness of the Switch and what you can do, because I will say the piano Labo was freaking dope.
It was cool. I like messing around with
especially
those.
The little meow meows. So, but I just don't see it. I think Nintendo right now, they are focused on whatever's to come with their next console, which I know we're starting to get little tidbits here and there. So I think that's really what their focal point is. And with that, it's how they can continue the ecosystem of what Switch created.
Exactly.
So I don't see them going away from like the Switch cartridges. I don't see them going away from anything like that. So for them to make a drastic jump to go into something like VR or anything like that, I just don't see it happen. And like I said, we already have a lot of great, what do you call it? Properties out there that do already a fairly good job. I personally think the Oculus is like the king of the VR because it's everything you need. You don't need to buy a $500 console and then a $700 VR headset, $1,000 worth of things going on there. And I just don't see that that's something. Honestly, I don't even see Microsoft doing that.
Right.
I mean, if Microsoft does anything, they're going to try to make something happen with their
HoloLens.
Windows Glass. The HoloLens. That will probably be the next
big
gen thing of VR. And honestly,
even Apple might even dabble into those waters a little bit,
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't even dived into that. Well, I mean, Oculus is Facebook, but originally it wasn't Facebook, right? They bought it.
Facebook, whichever, right?
Meta, whatever.
Meta. Sorry. I'm sorry. Every time I say that, I'm sorry. Just every time I say Meta, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's laughable. But anyway, Joe Ben 1597, thank you for the comment. Just wanted to kind of just shout you out and thank you for your engagement into the cast and giving us just you wanting us to address your thoughts and give you our take on that. So
and just a quick plug, like again, we do appreciate the feedback. We want to be super engaged with the community and everyone who listens, all our listeners. We appreciate your support. So if you listen on Spotify specifically, you should be able to, after every podcast episode, provide feedback. You can provide we have a question like, hey, what do you think about the episode? So you can put whatever you want on there. It's exclusively for us to read and see. And then, of course, if you're on YouTube, you can put comments and everyone can see there. But we definitely read them, acknowledge them. And also don't forget on Twitter and Instagram, we do pay attention to those. So if you got any feedback or comments or questions or things you would like for us to potentially discuss down the road, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, we'll take all that into consideration. And be sure to leave comments on how, I'm the better, host here and I have the best unique perspective.
All right, what are we talking about now?
Yeah, it varies on what we're talking about, right? I'm just being funny, bro. Don't take it personally.
I take everything extremely personally.
No, you don't. You're the last person to ever take anything personally, honestly.
I am the last person, but I am also the one person, and Greg knows this extremely well. I can play every angle, every side of any argument.
Literally, like you could argue, oh, hey, Nintendo's the best console ever, but then you could also argue Nintendo's the worst console ever. Yeah. He can go flip-flop perfectly.
And I'll give facts, I'll give everything, and it's really maddening. I remember that day when, because sorry, it's a quick little sidebar thing here, but I remember when we used to work together. We already established, you're big on Smash, and I used to always give you a lot of crap about, but a lot of stuff about Smash. And I remember one time I said, I told myself, I'm going to come in being like the biggest, fantastic supporter of Smash. Literally, this man was going to like blow his mind. I almost got him hating Smash because I was liking it so much.
So he was like the most casual Smash, he was like so determined on it. And he's like, yeah, this is great. And it's just such a casual like perspective on it where I'm just like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about. Now I'm disgusted. But I think we need to dedicate an episode to like backstories a little bit, like about you and I. So
just talk about Smash.
No, we're gonna put a pin in this.
Every fighter's the same.
No.
Right, I won't open that can of worms.
No.
Yes. All right, what's on today's docket? What we got?
Well, I'm sure you all had a wonderful Mario Day, and if you did have a wonderful Mario Day, definitely let us know what kind of games you played and what kind of deals you picked up on, because we talked on our last episode, because I certainly did. And we got, of course, a really awesome treat of stuff last week from Nintendo. Specifically, we got our final Mario movie trailer, which I got to watch while I was working, so I didn't get a proper reaction to it, unfortunately. I had saw somebody playing it and talking about it while I was busy working, and I'm like, no, don't show me that. I was going to watch it later, but needless to say, it was awesome. I liked it.
Yeah, fortunately for me, I was at home. No, I was chilling. I watched the entire Direct. It was pretty cool. They, you know, they opened it up, Miyamoto and everything, and then I forgot the guy's name, but the Illuminati, Illuminations.
Chris Melandri?
There you go. That sounds about right.
I'm sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong, but yeah.
That gentleman there was like the president of Illumination Studios, and so they were talking about it. Then they had the cast join. It was a little weird at first because they had Seth Rogen, Keegan-Michael, what's the last name?
Michael Key, yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Keegan-Michael Key? Okay, my bad. Charlie Day and then Chris Pratt. And it was cool. Like, their little interaction was pretty awesome. A little funny. And then I was just like, where's... Like, because I'm over here like, Anya Taylor-Joy, where is...
Keegan-Michael Key. Just
Keegan-Michael Key.
Just fact-checked it, everybody.
I was like, where's Anya at? Like, she hasn't done any press. And then, fortunately, she popped up right after. And I was like, oh, there you go.
Yep.
And she actually was paired with Jack Black with Bowser. And so they had good banter back and forth. And I said it when I was watching the direct. I was like, I have a feeling they picked Anya because if for some reason they ever wanted to go like live action, super meta... I feel like they got her because she can pull off a Peach look.
Did you see her? Actually, happened to see her Halloween costume that she did?
No.
Yeah, she actually dressed up as Princess Peach.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was kind of funny, and then like I guess on I don't know if it was Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon. I'm not sure which night show she was on, but she actually acknowledged her Princess Peach costume, which was cool. It was for Halloween last year. So yeah, she could pull it off.
Yeah. It was pretty cool, but you know, so they had a nice little intro, a little banter with the cast and everything, and then they played the trailer.
Yeah, which you know, I was actually expecting it to be a little longer. If I'm being honest with you,
honestly, you know what's funny? I feel the trailer. Oh, okay, I see the costume. That's cool.
Yeah, I just pulled out the costume.
I feel. What's funny about all three trailers because they've only shown 3 trailers, a few little TV spots, but it's been a lot of repeat.
Yeah.
There's 2 things I like about it. One, I like because it's not showing a lot. I mean, it's only an hour and a half movie, so don't show me a lot. But you can,
an hour and a half?
Yeah, you can tell it's like 92 minutes.
Okay.
You can tell that it has that Nintendo feel because Nintendo is very skimpy on showing anything off or talking about stuff. So if you really look at every like if you're one of those people that like sits there and like super analyzes the trailers,
yeah,
it's a lot of the same of what they've shown. The only thing that was new and big in the trailer, this final one, was we get Fire Donkey Kong.
What in the world was that? I was like, yes.
Homeboy went like freaking Dragon Ball Z on us. I loved it.
You know, it's kind of funny for all of you real Nintendo fans out there that have been watching Nintendo on YouTube and the internet for ages. It definitely gave me a Super Mario Brothers Z kind of throwback. If any of you remember that cool little flash animation from back in the day, kind of gave me like that little fan servicey kind of like, oh yeah, we can turn whatever we want into whatever version of a Super Saiyan kind of character we can. So like Donkey Kong kind of got that Super Saiyan Fire Flower kind of powered up looking thing. And I was like, whoa, even his tie turned kind of white, which I was like, yeah, that's cool.
The whole thing. I don't know if you've seen it, but have you seen that they made it into a TV spot, but it's like a whole transition clip where Peach like touches the fire plant and that like, you know, almost like Iron Man putting on the what do you call it?
Just
the
like
extremis or digital suit, or the nano suit. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
You see like her whole like look just change into the Fire Peach, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I loved how they did because at the same time when you see that clip, Donkey Kong takes the fire plant, and then Mario takes the mushroom, and he powers up.
Yeah, Mario literally grows, which he should.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just Super Mario, like really big. And did you catch a little bit more of his take on Mario?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So I've been seeing a lot of this because you hear him give his like traditional Mario sound clip. I was trying to figure out, is that Chris Pratt or is that a sound clip?
Or is that Charles Martinet?
Yeah.
Could that be what?
Because that sounded way too on point.
Yeah, it really did.
And I'm not trying to discredit Pratt. I've been a supporter of Pratt versus this guy over here.
Hey,
but,
easy there.
But I was like, I don't want to discredit him or anything, but I'm like, was that him or was that, because it's an animation, so they can play whatever audio they want. But
sure.
I want to say it was him because you can kind of hear a little bit of like that Pratt voice when he's bringing it down from the high pitch.
Yep.
But I don't know, dude. It sounded really, really close.
I think I've never look. I need to put one thing on the record here, okay? This guy thinks I'm a Pratt hater. I'm not actually a Pratt hater at all. I had concerns thinking that the direction that he took it in was just, okay, let's just have Chris Pratt literally just read off a script as Chris Pratt. So, like, I could hear it as Star-Lord. I can hear it as Emmett from Lego Movie. I can hear it as What's-His-Face from Onward. I can hear just Chris Pratt. Because let's be honest, every other voice role he's done, it's just Chris Pratt. I don't hear much change in it, right? So that was the concern I had. But you can kind of tell as each trailer progresses, they're beginning to reveal more and more of, like, this Italian plumber from Brooklyn that's very much, a personality, right?
Yeah.
And like, I think, while it's not the "It's a me, Mario, let's go," like, it's still not very much like a woohoo. Like, you could still hear, you can hear a
Are you in the movie, bro? What's going on here?
No.
On point.
Well, thank you, sir.
You props, man.
No, well,
I can't do that. I'd butcher it.
You know what?
I'd sound like Wario.
Yeah, you gotta eat that garlic. Yeah, anyway. Sorry. Do I need to do my impressions? Hey, Universal, if you're listening right now, take me for all your Mario characters. Even Nintendo, when one day you need to replace Mario. Like, I'm open to auditions. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, like,
it's Mickey Mouse, they got to change every now and then.
Oh, Mickey. No, anyway. Okay, we're getting off topic here. I'm trying to say...
I'm sorry, bro. You just keep coming at him. I was like, whoa, wasn't expecting all that.
Chris Pratt does a solid his own Mario impression, and I'm beginning to respect it a lot more now as we begin to hear more of it. Now, do I believe that there could have been somebody that would have been a little bit more fit in my eyes? Yes, I'm still going to stand firm on that, but I don't hate Chris Pratt by any means. I think I needed to see it more with visuals on screen that just kind of showed to me, like, yes, this was the right choice. And I have to remember, too, Miyamoto himself said he picked this man to voice. He said, he's so cool. But it's just like...
Well, I mean, Chris Pratt, in my personal opinion, like, as an actor...
Yes.
I think he's done phenomenal work. I think he's a very funny person. Love him in Parks and Rec.
Yep.
Even the Connect Star Wars... Microsoft commercial. Check it out if you ever have a chance. YouTube.
I remember that.
But I've liked him. I mean, he's become a movie star, like an action star. Like, I love him in Jurassic World, and I get people can get like overwhelmed and tired because dude has been like popping off everywhere.
He's gonna be Garfield pretty soon too. You didn't know that?
Really?
Yeah, he's gonna be Garfield pretty soon.
Okay.
See, even you, and you're like, okay, yeah, because he's everywhere.
Well, to me, I mean, Garfield peaked with Bill Murray.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So.
But anyways, I like him. I think he's a great actor, and I can see why Miyamoto wanted to go with him. But what I like too is that he has a calm voice. So like when you hear him as Mario, like just general speaking, you can definitely hear. I don't know if this is a term, but there is some Prattish in his voice. But there's a little bit of like the tone. And I think if he did in fact do that voice clip where he gets powered up, and even when he's on the go-kart and he does the jump, like those are the cue highlights, because he's bringing the traditional voice of Mario, what we know. But at the same time, I would lose my mind if I heard from beginning to end that high-pitched traditional Mario voice. It would be too much. It would be way too much. So I'm glad that there's a balance. And if that is him doing all the voice work 100% in the film, then kudos to him, because I think that's great. And obviously, again, I don't ever question Miyamoto to begin with.
No, right.
But clearly he knew something. And again, if I remember correctly, he did an interview where they spent like months trying to find the voice.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't just like, hey, say this. Like, he had to, although Miyamoto wanted him, he had to also earn that.
Right.
So
that's true. I mean, and to kind of play a little bit, to kind of, piggyback off of what you were just saying just now. I was reading recently on a thread on Reddit, I believe, where people were kind of discussing about like, well, I think we've kind of opened up a bit more to Chris Pratt, and it just kind of, we're warming up to it a bit more, because when you really think about it, Mario and characters and friends and everybody in that world have been kind of stripped of like any kind of personality that they ever had the chance to get during which I'm gonna be real. Here's my take. In the GameCube era, I feel like was the prime of like definition of video game, canon Mario personality, and you can see a lot of evidence in this, like in the Camelot games from like Mario Golf, Tennis, and things like that, like in the GameCube Wii era, kind of, where you could really tell that they were very much like involved in like kind of giving them like a little bit of, funny humor. Like you could tell like Mario and Luigi and Wario and Waluigi were always having this banter with each other. And it was just kind of funny, But like, it's true. These characters really don't have much personality to them. So I think, it makes sense. You want somebody that can give Mario, Luigi, Peach, etc., some character outside of the let's go, you because you can't do that the entire way through for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So
I'll tell you one of my biggest reasons why I want these voices to succeed. Mm-hmm. And it's because I think we've entered a realm or a time. Mm-hmm. Mario's 35, 36, 37 years old now, right? I think we've entered a time with video games that, especially with Nintendo, the silent protagonist needs to stop. And we need to give voice to our protagonists, because I think they've developed enough character of who they are and what they're about that it's not like I'm playing as Mario. It's not I'm Link, I'm Samus, and I feel at times this sometimes takes away from the narrative, where we have to rely on other sources to provide the story, where our protagonist is really just like how you said, doing all the Mario sounds or just giving you the things, the grunts. So like Breath of the Wild was a big one where it introduced everybody speaks but Link.
The NES era was perfect for this because you literally at the time you had no ability to give anyone personality beyond the cartoon adaptations, which were all done, third party outside of Nintendo themselves, right? So the silent protagonist, where you, the player, are the character that you're navigating, maneuvering through within the game, made sense. But we're now at a point where we have developed so far into where people love these characters and want to see more come out of them. And I think this is a good first step for that. So to kind of wrap up on the voice thoughts, I think I'm a bit more convinced. And of course I'm going to find out when I go see the movie, but I think it's good. I think it's a good direction.
I'm excited for it. And like I said, if they succeed, it's well, because after that, they don't necessarily need... There's so many voice actors out there that can imitate celebrities and stuff, or even AI nowadays. Jesus.
Right. Yeah.
That as long as they have like a voice that everyone enjoys, then we can start seeing them rolled out more and more. Kind of like Vader. Yep. Vader, James Earl Jones and Star Wars Force Awakens, it was this other guy who actually was, I think if I remember correctly, it was like a YouTube guy that did a really good impersonation of the voice, and they hired him for either the Wii version or the actual like main game for...
You mean Force Unleashed?
Force Unleashed, yeah. What did I say?
Force Awakens.
Gosh. Somehow
Fake
Palpatine
Star
survived.
Wars fan, gosh. Anyway, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, so that's what I'm really excited for, because I would love to see more. I would like to see a new Mario game where Mario has more personality and more story to tell, along with Peach, Bowser. Like, dude, you know how awesome it would be to finally have Bowser speak all the time? I know
Sunshine was the last time he actually spoke.
Yeah. I never beat Sunshine, though. So.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I never did.
Oh, man, you won't like the voice of Bowser in that game. I think he's garbage.
Oh, okay.
Man. I'll have to show
Bowser Jr. was dope, though.
He was cool. Yeah. But you only see Bowser for like the last,
oh, he's like at the end?
20 minutes of the game. Yeah, honestly. Oh, okay. But anyway, Rainbow Road, that sequence in that trailer.
Dude, it's Mad Max, bro.
It was cool.
Mario Kart Mad Max.
You basically took it right out of my mouth, honestly. I was thinking the same dang thing. Like, whoa, Mario jacking cars and literally taking his enemies like from those cars and throwing them around. Did you notice that? He literally stomped them and went, and just literally...
Hear the sound?
Yep. He literally just took them. He was holding him, and just it was crazy. It was cool. It was
what I
cool.
like? It was the detail where when he throws a shell, it hits strategically somewhere where to make the car like mess up. So it hit like the tires and stuff. Like it wasn't just like hit it anywhere and boom. But like you can tell they put a lot of detail. Like, all right, how can we make, if we're gonna get hit by this car with a shell or whatever power, like they make sure that it's like precision aiming or something, so that way it makes sense and stuff.
Right, because in Mario Kart you just throw it and you're like, and sometimes you don't even get hit by it, but you still take the damage for it, and you're like, what? So I like the amount of attention to detail that they've really put into the visuals and every small piece, of that sequence. Just Mario falling and just landing on their cart, skidding on Rainbow Road, to hijacking another one, to hopping into another, blowing them up, and just feeling a little sense of pride, and they're like, ha ha, like that. That was just sick.
Okay, I got to address this because you just popped my head.
Okay.
I got to ask how I feel before I even say what it is or anything like that. As a matter of fact, yeah. Okay, sorry. I had to quickly take a quick little pause because I wanted to play this clip. This clip from the trailers right in the beginning. I absolutely love it, and I'm so glad. This is what tells me, this is what the respect I have for Illumination and even for Nintendo to have it. It's a PG movie, but I'm gonna play this clip. It's a soundbite from the beginning of it. Let's get it. Where am I?
Ooh, fresh meat for the grinder.
Pay him no heed. He is cute, but he is.
There's gotta be a way out of here.
There's no escape. The only hope is the sweet relief of death.
Whoa! Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Bro, what is that Luma been through? That's my first thought. That's my first thought. What is up?
Dude, that Luma, like me and my wife, we watched it and we're like, dude,
what?
We love this little guy, man.
The meat grinder. More meat for the meat grinder. Sweet relief of death. Like, this is funny. I mean, honestly, like,
I was not expecting that when I saw that.
I bet you're asking me my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I was going to ask your thoughts on what you're.
Dude, I mean, here's the thing. You got to remember too. Like, you have a Hollywood film. You have a blockbuster film with an A-list of actors, right? You've got to throw some humor in there for the parents that don't want to come and watch a Mario movie. Let's just be real. Like, kids want to watch this, and kids want to laugh. They're going to see that in a commercial.
And again, this is 35. Mario's 37,
38 years old.
You know, so who's watching this movie? Us 30-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, this is true. But, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you got to throw a little something in there to make people go, oh, that's funny. And
I think though it was just I don't know whose idea this was. I don't know if it was Nintendo's, Illumination. My guess is Illumination's, but the fact that they got like the most cutest innocent character
to be saying a sadistic little comment like this meat grinder and this sweet sense of death. Like, what?
Even like the penguins are just like, this guy is just crazy.
Just
don't even like of all people.
But it makes me wonder though, what is, because now they confirmed Lumas from Mario Galaxy are in this film, or at least a Luma, right? Begs the question, Rosalina, right? Yeah. Like, what's gonna happen? Where'd this Luma come from? Why is he sadistic and little?
I have a feeling if they make a sequel, that's the direction they're going.
It's either going to be pop up in this.
It's either going to be. Well, she won't. I don't think she'll pop up.
Okay,
but I think when they I don't know if they'll jump into the Marvel style of post credit scenes. I wouldn't be surprised. But I feel the next one, if they do another one, which most likely I'm thinking they're already going to do another one, it's either going to be Odyssey or Galaxy inspired, because we already have Odyssey levels in this, and they already talk about they're creating their own little galaxy. I mean, they mentioned galaxies already, so
galaxies out there,
I have a feeling that the next threat will be Bowser or whomever trying to take over the galaxy versus just the little kingdoms around their area, because you can see the kingdoms when they look at the map. It's like imagine their own world, and there's all the kingdoms there.
You can see, like, you know, the land from Super Mario Land 1 and 2 are from Daisy.
You see Donkey Kong. You see the ice area where the penguins are at.
You see everything. So.
I think that's going to be isolated. So I think the next time they do anything, it's going to be expanded.
I think, you know, just to kind of summarize everything, this movie has only shown, of all the trailers and all the TV spots we've seen, we've only seen, honestly, if I'm being real with you, like maybe 10% of what this film has to offer. When you really analyze it and think deep down, we could probably put together like the first 15 minutes maybe, and then with some tidbits maybe towards the end. You know, we've seen quite little of this movie, and I like that, because trailers tend to go over the top, you know, with too much to look at, and, you know, I mean, if it's anyone that's going to capture, you know, our interest while still keeping it pretty secretive, it's Nintendo. I mean, they do it right now with Zelda, which will, you know, we actually also have more to talk about then in just a little bit. But they're very Nintendo's very tight-lipped. I mean, no one expected a shadow drop of Metroid Prime announce and download that same day. So exactly. So I mean, if anything is to follow those patterns, then the movie is pretty much already setting that up for success in that terms of secrecy. So I'm excited. I mean, I've already got my tickets. In case you guys didn't know, tickets are available now. I got mine. I'm excited. I am going Tuesday night. I am driving a little bit out of the ways to
crazy, man.
You know, hey, I got it. I mean, I don't know if this is the case for you guys or if like the theater's listings have updated since then.
They've updated since.
Have they? Okay. Yeah.
just nothing Tuesday, but Wednesdays like now like IMAX is up and everything. So.
Yeah, I got mine for Tuesday at a IMAX screening in the Bay Area here in California, so I'm going to be traveling a little bit out just to go do that because I got to see this ASAP. Yeah, man, I'm pumped. I'm ready. I think I'm convinced that we're getting a really solid film, and I'm going to throw it out there. I'm very much convinced this is Illumination's best work visually.
Oh, without a doubt.
But it looks so
without a doubt
good, and you could tell that everything when you and I haven't even gotten to break it down the last trailer piece by piece. There's just so much attention to detail visually.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I don't want to discredit Illumination whatsoever. They've done a lot of great movies. I love their movies.
Despicable Me was good. I still like Despicable Me.
I love Minions. Like Minions is my favorite. But like Secret Life of Pets, the Sing, like all those were great movies. What this movie proves, though, what I'm excited for Illumination down the road, is they got to work with Nintendo. Yep. That's the key, and we're not talking like scrub Nintendo. We're talking like the big heavy hitters, like the developers that actually make the games.
The father of Mario.
Yeah, the father of Mario, but also like the end one, the main development. Yep. They worked and they provided assets and everything. And if you've already played Mario games, especially like the latest Odyssey game and any of those, like even Smash for that matter, because those have some really high detailed character designs and character models. Like it was essentially shared between the two of them. So again, it's more of a Nintendo and Illumination project combined. I'm hoping though that they've learned a lot, so that way the future Illumination movies that have nothing to do with Nintendo, they learned a lot and they can provide a lot of good stuff. But we know they're gonna be sitting on this license for quite some time.
Oh, so. For sure. I mean, they've got a darn theme park to. If anything, this movie is just a big giant ad for their awesome theme park that they have at Universal. So, but yeah, more to come from Illumination and Nintendo, I'm sure, in the future. We mentioned Donkey Kong last time, right? Might be their.
No, I mentioned it to you that it's already been said that their next movie with Nintendo is going to be with Donkey Kong. So Seth Rogen is going to reprise his role as Donkey Kong, and that should be going into development. They've also expressed, the actor Charlie Day expressed potentially doing a Luigi's Mansion film.
Please,
which I think would be really, really cool.
Dude, can you imagine a Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, like at the park, and that's all Luigi's Mansion themed? Like, please, like that makes so much sense. It really does.
Yeah,
there's no way they couldn't, not do that. But yeah, guys, I mean, Mario movie's coming out April 5th. Tickets are available now. Get your stuff. This game's, it feels like a game. It feels like a Nintendo video game product, I mean, that's how good this looks. So, but yeah, the movie's coming soon. I'm
surprised they're not doing a video game adaptation. I'm just playing.
No.
I'm just playing.
Next.
There's like 30 plus games.
Next. That genre is done. Like that was just.
I miss movie. There have been some really good movie adaptation video games.
SpongeBob in particular.
SpongeBob, the Harry Potter. Some of the Harry Potter ones were really good.
That's true. But I mean,
Revenge of the Sith was pretty awesome too.
I didn't play that one.
That one was dope, dude.
Maybe
Toy Story back on PlayStation days.
Toy Story
and the original Toy Story on Super NES and Sega Genesis. Oh my god, that was hard. No saves.
The Revenge of the Sith one, though, I think that might be your nostalgia talking, because I look at that game now and I feel like it didn't age very well when I look at it personally.
No, when it came out, it was good. Dude, it was from the same makers as Battlefront.
Was it?
Yeah, somewhere along the lines.
To be fair, I need to play more Star Wars games.
I'm probably making it up. I just remember being a cool game because I was hyped for Revenge of the Sith, man. I got all the cups and everything.
I kind of want to switch gears a little bit now.
Let's do it.
As we've got something else that's pretty big on our radar coming up pretty darn soon, like less than 2 months away. And it's kind of weird how little we've seen of it, yet so much at the same time. And I feel like this one is a bit of a controversial topic online with the Nintendo community on Twitter and Reddit and amongst ourselves as people. But like, Zelda's got some spotlight time coming up pretty soon too. I'm sure after all the movie stuff, when the hype drops, then they're probably going to go full on ham with promoting the heck out of Tears of the Kingdom, which is releasing May 12th, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty darn close. But I know that for me, like, I've been saying to you, Rick, I don't know, entirely. I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but I feel like there's still so much to look at that we haven't seen and this just kind of plays into the whole secrecy topic we were talking about with the movie, but like I still feel like there's a lot more that they could be talking about that they just haven't done yet. I've seen like trailers that are like snippets, super tiny, and we've been waiting for this game for like the last 5 years. Why? What I mean, here I'm gonna pause here. What's your overall take on that game right now at its stance with everything that we've seen so far?
Okay, it's two loaded questions. So I want to address the first one. You said how there hasn't been much. I think there hasn't been a lot of advertising because there doesn't have to be any. They don't need to. It's we know it's a sequel to Breath of the Wild. We know for the most part the mechanics. Breath of the Wild is one of the best, if not the best, selling Legend of Zelda game in terms of units and stuff like that.
Right.
Almost every Switch owner has most likely Breath of the Wild along with Animal Crossing and Mario Kart. So it's just one of those games that at this point, I don't really think Nintendo has to show anything because at the end of the day, everyone is going to buy it. On top of that, with less information out there, it creates more of a mystery. So therefore, people are going to buy it just because they want to know what the heck's going on. So at the end of the day, as far as marketing goes, I think they're doing a really slick job by keeping it as much hush-hush as they can. I will say that Nintendo's extremely known to not hype games up until they know, like it goes gold when they know it's about to drop. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why they do a lot of shadow drops. That's why most of the time when you see a Nintendo Direct, all the games they announce, like they even say at the beginning, like, hey, the games we're going to talk about today are dropping in Q2, which is like the next 3 months. Yep. They don't talk anything beyond the road. They don't give you this, hey, this is going to be Starfield coming out here, delay. 10 years later, here's the game. So they don't hype us. And that's what I like about Nintendo. So as far as marketing goes, it's not necessary. And I'm okay with that. I don't need to know anything. I don't need to see anything. I know it's going to be dope. What they've shown already is enough.
You think so?
Yeah, they've given us enough. They've given us the whole gimmick to this one is the above us. And again, I don't really want them to show anything over the story. I want it to be all, surprising. That's why everyone lost their minds when the art book got leaked out and there was some spoilers potentially in there. But as far as the game itself, I'm excited for it naturally because I'm a big Zelda fan. Even with all the limited information, I just don't want it to be another, and I know I said this here already, a Spider-Man Miles Morales, like an expansion. And it doesn't sound like it's that. And it sounds like Nintendo, I trust Nintendo for the most part. So I feel that they know what they're doing. They got something really, really cooked up. Before they even announced this game, they talked about how there was a lot of DLC, a lot of extra content they wanted to push out. And then before they finally sat down and went over everything they had, they were like, oh my God, we have a whole nother game in our hand. So that's why they decided to, instead of doing DLC, they went ahead and did a whole new video game. And they did a little bit of DLC, which just gave us more backstory. And then they shared more story with the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity stuff there. So we got more backstory of the 1,000 years. So overall, I'm curious to see where they're going with this, but I'm okay with them not showing anything. And I am really super genuinely excited for it.
I feel like this might be in my personal take. And, by the way, I think your, perspective on it is solid. But, the Nintendo fan of me that's not analytical and breaking down everything and looking at everything from a business perspective goes, I want to see more. I just feel like I'm seeing what Majora's Mask was to Ocarina of Time. And now that game was, of course, drastically different, but utilizing the same assets, the same kind of formula, and doing a different game, right? But I feel like I'm seeing that here with Tears of the Kingdom, and I haven't seen in my mind when I saw Breath of the Wild in that January Nintendo Switch 2017 presentation, 2 months before the Switch dropped. It was at that Japan conference that they had. That trailer, it still gives me goosebumps to this day. It still gives me shivers. I was ready for it. I was grasping everything possible, just I need that game now. And I feel like with this, with what they've shown me, it's cool. I'm excited. It looks really neat. I'm liking that they've given us a little bit more clarity on what maybe kind of Link's hand might be.
Corrupted.
Corrupted. The Master Sword is clearly needing some type of it's been through some stuff, but I'm just I don't know. There's just something that hasn't really grasped me on that's like, yes, I need this. Where I'm just like, okay, yeah, I know I'm going to get it because the Nintendo fan of me and the Zelda fan of me is going, yes, I need it. But I'm like, I want this. And that's what I felt with Breath of the Wild. And I'm wondering if it's going to be able to capture that same magic that I had.
And this is what I told you when we were prepping for the show. The thing is, Breath of the Wild departed from all Zelda. So if you really look back at that epic trailer, I know which one you're talking about. Mm-hmm. It was just scenery. It was majority was scenery. So they can do the same thing again, but it's not going to do much because at this point we've already absorbed the scenery. And this was my biggest. Okay, so one of my biggest criticisms of Breath of the Wild was, as beautiful and vast it was, I felt the game was extremely empty. Yeah. And this is coming from a guy that loves Skyrim, for example. Mm-hmm. I love open world, and I love the world to be filled, and there's a lot to do. Like I can literally drop like 40 hours in Skyrim, and I'll be doing just one guild like storyline. There's like 5, 7, 10 storylines in Skyrim, and I can play 100 hours of Skyrim, and I wouldn't even touch the main quest.
Right.
And Zelda doesn't have that. That was my issue with Zelda, is that there was so much to the world. It was so filled. It was so beautiful. You go to these locations, and it didn't have enough content that captivated me. Like, oh my God. There was a couple side missions that were fun.
There's side quests in there.
There are side quests, but it's not like, it's some of it's just like rinse and repeat, go grab. And I'm a dude that, like, in my file right now, I have almost all 800 Korok seeds, dude. Like, I've played.
How did you pronounce that?
It's the Korok.
There you go. I thought I heard you say Koroko.
I did, but it's okay.
He admitted it. Okay. Just throwing that out there for the record.
Anyways, like there's like 800 of those little things all over the place, and I did most of them. So the thing is, and you know, there's all 120 of the little shrines and everything. So the game was very repeat, and it wasn't filled. And I think that was the limitation of the hardware. So my thing for like Tears of the Kingdom is, are you going to give us more story? Like, that's what I want. Like, yeah. If there's anything I wanted to know before the game was, is there more story? Which sounds like they are. And are we going to have missions that are going to be more in depth? And I think Nintendo is waiting. I think in the coming months, they're going to like they're going to slam us with everything.
I want a direct. I want a Zelda dedicated direct.
We'll have it. And I think we'll have it a month before it drops. It drops May 12th. So book it April 12th, probably even the end of April.
Which one? You're saying
a direct,
a Zelda direct by April 12th. Okay.
It's starting April 12th to the end of April. We'll have a direct.
Okay.
They'll do it because right now their focus is Mario. Mm-hmm. They got to do the movie. They got to do all that. They open Nintendo Land. That's all what they're focused on. So Zelda is going to come next. They're going to still have to announce the console. They might announce more amiibos. We'll see what happens. But
he did it again, guys. I said last time, the first episode.
Amiibo. I don't.
Thank you. Nope. Every time you do it, I'm gonna call you out on it.
That's cool. But and I'm still gonna say it. So, anyways, so that's my whole thing, is that I just feel that at this point, there's really nothing for them to show, because the things I do want them to show is things I don't necessarily want to know. I'd rather just play the game and find out. Now, they can give me a quick little, like, yeah, you know, we have the main storyline and there's like 4 other storylines you can follow. That's like side stuff. Like, they can give me information like that, but I don't want to see anything. Like, I'm cool with seeing stuff, you know?
I wonder if this is just me getting older and feeling like I'm losing the magic that I once had when Breath. Because like, let me just put it in perspective. 2017, I was, what, 20, 21? Was that right? Am I right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, 20 or 21.
I have no idea how old you are, bro.
I just turned 27, my guy. So, yeah, about good 6-7 years ago, you know? So, like, I was pumped for that game. And I'm just wondering if is this me just getting old and just kind of like, yeah, okay, another game on my list, you know? Just, I'm going to throw it on my shelf and play when I feel like it. I don't know. Maybe that's my own personal insecurities. Maybe that's my own fear, is like, I'm just wondering if that magic is going to come back to me, just like Breath of the Wild did.
It will. I guarantee, I promise you, as it gets closer, the hype will start generating, and you're going to be like on all cylinders firing. Like, it's there. Like, I'm with you. Like, I'm not sitting here like, you know, counting down the days or anything like that.
I'm not either.
And honestly, I'll tell you right now, my friend, and all our listeners, that is the best thing you could have right now. You know why? Low expectation.
Low expectation.
Go into things with very low expectation, and you won't be disappointed.
But Breath of the Wild, I had high expectations, and they were fulfilled, and it was just amazing. It was like I was on cloud 9 for like literally a year with that thing. Like I played Breath of the Wild nonstop for like
because it was new. It was new and it was different.
But to be fair, we had new hardware with it too at the time. So that was, I mean, okay. You know what? Now that I think about it,
there was a whole cycle of things. This is, I mean, the Switch is 6 years. Or at this point, we're now wanting to see what the next console is going to be. The Switch 2, the Super Switch, or whatever we want to call it.
We've been talking about that.
And I mean, this is what, almost 6 years as well with the making of this game. So again, I think the hype will be there, and I'm really glad with the marketing decisions they're making, just keeping it tight-lipped, because it's telling me what it tells me. It tells me that Nintendo's really focused on this game.
Yep.
And they want to. I mean, for Christ's sake, this is going to be the first Nintendo Switch game that's $70.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
And like I think too, like Nintendo doesn't just pull out that price lightly. I mean, there's actually even, I think you mentioned earlier, there's an excerpt that kind of explains a little bit on that, right?
Yeah. So Doug, literally today, this is the kind of the headlines that's been all around. At the
time of recording this, which would be,
March 13th. So Doug Bowser, the Nintendo of America president, he went off and say the key phrase right here: deeply immersive experience. So they're justifying the $70 price tag, saying that it's going to be worth the price tag for all fans, mainly because, and this is his quote, "We look at what the game has to offer. I think fans will find this is an incredibly full, deeply immersive experience. The price point reflects the type of experience that fans can expect when it comes to playing this particular game. It's actually a fairly common pricing model, either here or in Europe or other parts of the world, where the pricing may vary depending on the game itself." So I'm curious, because again, I have faith in Nintendo. Mm-hmm. I know I don't want to say they're greedy, but they're smart. They're business people.
Yes.
And so I'm curious to see what that definition of immersive means to them, and what justifies an extra $10 jump to the game, because we've already had $70 games. Sony jumped on that like in a heartbeat. Yeah. Microsoft's been kind of here and there. A couple third-party publishers have jumped on that in a heartbeat. And to me, we're getting the same stuff that I don't feel is worth $70.
Right.
So Nintendo doing it, and it's not that they're doing it with all their games.
It's just
I'm really curious to see what that definition is, because if we do get this game, and let's say, again, we haven't seen it because they haven't shown anything, but say we play it and you mind blown, and we see the detail, we see that it's working. It's able to not only load the ground level of Hyrule, but then also the skyloft of it, if you will. Like, if we're able to see that and it's loading well and everything, clearly it shows that they put a lot of investment in this game, a lot of investment in what the Switch hardware can offer. Hopefully it's max. And now it's telling us that, they actually put in hard work into this game, and it's worth $70. Even if they give us a couple free DLC pieces down the road, or maybe it's just really, really vast and large, then it'll set the tone for Nintendo going, well, whenever you get a $70 game, it's not just a price hike. It's you're getting a valued game.
Heck for. Yeah. Like, I mean, imagine in the future if like the next mainline Mario game, like Mario Odyssey 2 or something equivalent to that, is on the same boat. Like, is every major big release like a big brand new main core Mario game, or Donkey Kong or Metroid, or God forbid Pokemon. But like
Pokemon already does 2 games at a time, so they're in the $120 range.
They've been there for a long time. Anyway, could those franchises go into that direction, and could this mean like that we have not just 2 but 3 different price tiers? Because I see some games like Metroid Prime recently was $40, and then like a game like WarioWare, Get It Together was also $40 or $50 on Switch, and
I feel 40 is the new like greatest hits price.
You think so?
It used to be like $20.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Nintendo Selects.
There you go.
Nintendo
Nintendo
those, by
Selects.
the way, just throwing that. I miss those. I really was kind of hoping they would do that, but
I feel $40 is like the select price points.
Gosh, man, inflation.
Yeah,
those prices.
Yeah, which honestly, I'm okay with. I mean, that's the thing about Nintendo. Like, I know it's not that much fair of a comparison, but like when you look at a remastered Metroid, okay, Metroid Prime remaster, that's they use the same assets, but you can tell that they rebuilt it from the ground up, and it's so much better, and it's the exact same. Everything that was in the game, minus the Zero Samus suit as of right now, everything that was in that game in the GameCube is in that $40. Then you look at, and you know where I'm going with this, Last of Us Part 1 on PS5, $70.
Yep.
They stripped all multiplayer aspects. All they did was give you the DLC Left Behind content. They remastered it. It's remade from the ground. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't get me wrong. It does look amazing, but it's not no 20-year gap. It's literally a PS3 game. Then it got an HD remaster, and then they got like a whole remake. They claim it's a full-blown remake, but I'm just like, okay, whatever, dude. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
$70
for that.
So I like
content away.
I like what Nintendo's doing. I feel their pricing of their games is justifiable, and this is why Tears of the I was gonna say Tears of the Sun again.
Not again.
Bruce Willis.
Not again.
What do you call it? Tears of the Kingdom having the first Nintendo Switch game, first Nintendo game in a long time ever.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember, even
so
like
they've
back
done
in the
$70 games before, just to throw it on everyone's radar. They've done it before. You can Google like old Toys R Us, Blockbuster ads,
and
or something
64,
like that.
baby.
64 and Super Nintendo. They had definitely had $70.
So
games.
for them to have a $70 game, and now you have the Nintendo of America president Doug Bowser and obviously everyone else involved in the game saying that it's an immersive, like they're giving us a reason for it. We'll see.
We'll see.
And that's what we got to wait for. May 12th. It's not that far away, but I'm pumped. I'm really excited.
Yep.
I don't need to see anymore.
That's fair. Maybe, like I said before, maybe it's just the personal fanboy in me that's just kind of wanting to see, just a bit more, just because I'm wanting to really encapsulate that magic again that I once had. But I think there's just like, now that, talking about it like right here and right now, I realize in this moment, oh yeah, there was actually other factors that went into play with that, like new hardware. Switch was so different, like taking a Joy-Con was just such a wild concept to me at the time. Bright and colorful colors and new console. And I was ready to move on from Wii U.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a big piece of it too. And the fact that I could play such a brand new Zelda in my hands was also pretty kind of cool.
I think if there's anything to be upset about Tears of the Kingdom is the lack of quantity of collector's editions.
Yeah.
But it's also the merch. I feel that aspect. I mean, granted, we should be having a console. There should be a console.
It's
out there.
It's out there. We just haven't seen an announcement yet.
So far, I mean, and granted, it could be just spoilers, but they've only done one amiibo. I really hope they do a player's guide. I'm a player's guide kind of guy. I like having
rest in peace, Prima.
Whether I use it or not, I just like as much content as I can have. Whether I use it or have it on display. The art books and everything. There hasn't been a lot of that, and I'm a little surprised. Yeah, like honestly. So
Prima was out of business, man. They don't do
strategy
guides
most of the time, though, Nintendo makes their own.
Do they? Yeah. I mean, I thought it was usually Prima that went ahead.
They try to license out, but then they stopped licensing out due to spoilers. So then they started making those. So Dark Horse Comic is one of the big partners that they do with publication, but mostly they do it with the art books because that's where I have like all the encyclopedias. And
that's true. I do have a Mario Odyssey one. I forget about that. Yeah, and Smash. Yeah, you're right. Actually, Dark Horse. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yep.
So I'm surprised. I mean, again, I feel though, truthfully, I think Nintendo is waiting until the Mario movie to drop. Once that happens, I feel we're going to get like attacked with everything Zelda. Like Nintendo's going to drop everything left and right. You
can't ignore something as big as the Mario Brothers movie. So I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense now.
Oh, it's their first motion picture from Nintendo.
Yeah, like an official partnership, and not just like licensed by Nintendo, but like actually in the opening credits and stuff like that. Like that's huge. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot to look forward to, and I'm pumped for Mario movie. I'm pumped for Zelda, regardless of the things that I've had to say. I'm trying to fix this magic that I'm looking for. I mean, I'm a Zelda fan. I'm a Nintendo fan. I love what they put out, and I'm hopeful on the immersive experience price point. I sure hope Doug Bowser's right. I sure hope so. I mean, I never really have a problem with paying a $10 difference. Like, I'll be honest, if you can't, I mean, just putting it out there, if you can't afford a $10 difference, I mean, that's pretty. I don't know. I don't feel like it's that big of a difference, but at the same time,
I spent
with the amount of literally the amount of stuff that you and
I literally thankful. I'm praying to the game gods that nothing happens. It looks like it's going to be a sure thing, but I have my pre-order for Resident Evil 4 collectors. It's like $250 $50 collectors
Yeah.
pre-ordered, and it seems like it's about to get charged and shipped out because it comes out next week.
Oh my gosh,
Bro,
that's quick.
I paid $250
Yeah.
for a game that I'm sure I can probably buy it down the road for like digitally for like $20-$30 because I've been able to buy Resident Evil 2 or 3 for super cheap.
Right.
So again, $70 to me. I mean, I'm at the point I feel that I'm almost getting to the point where like $100 games is like going to be the norm.
Oh man.
I mean, if you really think about it though, are they not already? You buy a game, then you buy the season pass.
And then you buy a collector's edition, or you buy the edition.
Well, not even that, just literally content, game itself,
DLC.
not even just DLC.
Yeah.
Season pass is like usually $20, $25, $30. And that is like content for the game itself.
This is true. And then,
So
I mean, if you remove the online pass for Nintendo out of the way, Mario Kart's expansion is $25. Splatoon's, I think, was $25 as well for the Octoling expansion, and
so right there is
and
what
Animal Crossing. Dang,
85 games are pretty much $85
dang.
at its face value.
I miss when you used to be able to just buy a game, you pop it in, you just play it. And that's what I still like about Nintendo, because you can do that still.
For the most part.
For the most part. And none of the stuff that is required. I feel like with the season pass stuff that you were mentioning, they almost make you feel like it's like you're obligated to do that. So, yeah.
I bought Fire Emblem Engage, and I'm like, oh, cool, got the game. Well, I got the collectors, but it's like, I got the game, quote unquote, $60. I got to buy the season pass. Like
there's a season pass? Okay, so that just shows you how much I pay attention to Fire Emblem.
There's there's a season pass for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. A lot of money.
Yeah, dude. $85 games. That's where we're at. $100 pretty soon. At least give me a booklet.
We don't even have a darn booklet in most of these darn Switch. I think there's only in my entirety of working with GameStop and seeing, just games that come in and trade. And I think I've seen one Switch game in my entire lifetime.
I just need lore. Don't tell me how to play the game. The game can tell me how to play. Just give me a booklet with lore.
Give me some cool lore. Give me some tips. Give me something.
I miss those, man.
I miss those. And then the little bit at the end, it's like notes, password, or cheat codes and stuff. You know what I mean? Just
taking it back, bro.
Write all that in. Yeah.
A Nintendo hotline, so I can call them up and say, I need help with this game. All right, cool. $5 a minute.
$5 a minute. I'm gonna tell you how to jump over that flagpole. It just kind of goes to show that Nintendo and games in general have come a long way. I think to kind of wrap things up here too, I just kind of wanted to also acknowledge really quickly, Doug Bowser did comment on the supposedly any new hardware. He says that our Switch lineup that we're getting is still very bullish and is still very full of life, and we should still expect a strong lineup for the Switch moving forward. And
well, last year they said they're at the halfway life point of the
said,
Switch.
Yeah, I remember even too. Yeah, they said there was they wanted this thing to go on for like 10 years or something like that. So
I think what I know what's out in the news right now is processors that are being developed and going to be mass produced pretty soon here. I want to make the bet that it's safe to say the next console is going to be something really, really close to the Switch, just more stronger. I don't see them going away from having the inability to play your Switch cartridges.
More strong.
I think it's just going to be stronger on terms of hardware. Maybe, the dock system will be different. Maybe the Joy-Cons will be a little more updated so they don't get drift and things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Hall sticks, please. Hall sticks, please. Less drift.
I think that's when we get the new console, which can drop any moment because Nintendo does shadow drops all the freaking time. I don't see them going anywhere.
Would not surprise me if Nintendo decided April 12th or later they would go, hey, this Tears of the Kingdom game, you can get it on our new Switch as well, our new console too, Switch and this one, and you're gonna want it. Just like, yes, I do want it. So, that
new console is really a whole new Switch system.
It really is. Just, I mean, I would not be surprised. I mean, honestly, think about it. It's like phones. iPhones, Samsung Galaxies, like those things just refresh every year. Why couldn't Nintendo hypothetically do the same? Just update what we love.
Yep.
Just with a bit more performance. That's all. A little bit beefy.
Alrighty,
man. Well, this is it. This is going to wrap it up for another episode.
Yep. Let's cue that save spot.
Yep. Let's go.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Dokusou Cast.
Be sure to follow us at Dokusou Cast on our Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for more content and updates.